In this episode of Teaching Orchestra, we are going to talk about time management, aka your mental health. The first area I'd like to address is electronic communication, because electronic communication can be just a huge time draw if you're not careful. So I'm going to go over different categories and tell you how you can optimize each one to be more efficient, so that you can get your work done faster, you can get home earlier, you can have a life maybe outside of the school. The first thing that I want to talk about is your school phone. Now, a lot of the school phones have a caller ID system. If you don't have a caller ID system, maybe don't answer your phone. Maybe just let it go to voicemail and check it later. However, there are some people within the school that you probably need to be in communication with, like the school nurse, the attendance office, the front desk, etc., people that are going to be calling in to get your students out of class. I have a strong preference when a student's being taken out of my classroom that somebody calls over the phone or maybe sends a runner. I don't like the overhead PA system, because if we're playing and they're trying to do their thing, it doesn't work out very well. So, if it's the nurse or somebody from the front desk or attendance office, I'm looking for those people and I'm going to answer the phone. If it's somebody that I don't recognize, I'm going to let it go to voicemail and I'm going to see what they want later. And it's going to be my decision whether or not I call them back. If it's somebody without an appointment, they can send an email, they can set up another opportunity or, schedule something with me, but I'm not just going to take unsolicited phone calls. It can be just an extreme waste of time, just being on phone with somebody who you can't help them and they can't help you. Okay, now these could be sales calls, these could be wrong numbers. This could be a parent looking for something that's kind of within the fine arts department, but something that you may not know a lot about. And it's just better that, they try to find the right person to help them. If it's a parent, I like them to schedule appointments so we can have a sit-down conference instead of just have a random over-the-phone encounter. Those usually don't go as well. I like to have them set up an appointment and let me know what the meeting is going to be about, so I'm not absolutely blindsided by whatever they have to say. Okay, the next form of communication is your cell phone. Now, I would highly recommend that you have two cell phones. One for a legal reason, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but at least in the state of Texas, they have decided that a teacher's cell phone is now a part of the public record because we use our cell phones to text each other about students and different things. And so they could very well subpoena your cell phone. They could have an open public records request and try to get information off of your cell phone. So I would definitely get a private phone and a work phone. You might be thinking, well, it's going to cost me an extra $10 a month for another line. Yeah, okay, but think about how much time it's going to save you if you have a phone that's only for your very close friends and family, the people you actually want to talk to, and another phone that you can turn off at the end of the day, and those people that you really don't want to talk to can't waste your time and they can't reach you, and you can actually recharge the batteries and be more efficient the next day. How much is it worth to you? It's like $10 a month. Well, how much do you get paid to go play a wedding? I mean, your time's worth way more than that. So just get another line, just get a cheap work phone and, play an extra wedding to cover the cost. Here's my favorite fishing spot right here. I love to go out here and fish, and I get a call on my cell phone and somebody wants me to do something work related, and I was like, hey, I'm fishing right now. And they said, oh yeah, we're so sorry to interrupt your vacation. After that, hey, no more. The phone does not come with me on vacation. I take my private phone, and people who actually have emergencies that I need to respond to can call me, and people with their fake emergencies can dial 911. Just kidding. Do not dial 911 if you have a fake emergency. That's bad. But you can compartmentalize your life into your work categories and your friends and family categories and have a different phone and definitely have a different email address. And smoothly now, I'm going to transition into email. Through your work email, you can spend way too much time just checking your email. I highly recommend that you only check your email once per day and never use your phone to check your work email. Not only is it a huge waste of time to be checking your email all day, if you check your email on your phone, you might read an email that you're supposed to respond to and you forget to respond to it, but then it's marked unread because you just checked it on your phone and you forget, and that can be a bad situation. So set some time during your day. This is I'm going to check email time and go through all your emails in one day. Okay. Now, there are some tips that you can use to make checking your email more efficient. Maybe you don't need to check every one of your emails every day. Maybe you just need to check a select few emails every day. Because think about it. How many emails do you get a day? I probably get 100, 200, maybe 1,000 emails sometimes a day. And how many of them do you actually have to respond to? Okay, so if you can create some email filters, or you can create some tags or labels to help you address those emails that probably need your response versus all the other ones that you probably don't even need to read, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So first of all, I have a to me filter. So what this does is it checks the recipient and it makes sure that it's my email address. If it's not my email address and it's sent to like campus mail or it's sent to BCC, whatever, some kind of a list aggregate, then it's not going to show up in my to me folder. This is a medium priority email because it's to me. Somebody obviously wants me to read it, but it may or may not need a response. If I have an email from my principal secretary or my fine arts director or somebody who is important and that I need to get a hold of, that needs to get a hold of me, they have special filters too, so that I check that stuff first. Now, I also have filters for other people. I have some coworkers, and you probably have them too, that think their memes are hilarious, but sometimes you just don't have time for that. And I'm not trying to be negative or a party pooper or anything like that. But listen, the goal of this video is to learn how to save time. And if you're sorting through memes, that's what social media is for. That's not what email is for. So, again, compartmentalize. It's not that you're never going to read it. It's just that it's not a high priority thing. You can maybe do that once a week, read emails once a week, and maybe, reply back, too funny or whatever, just so that you don't look boring. But it doesn't suck all of your time. There are probably people within the district that do district-wide blasts, and there might be a tag that you can identify them with. And again, it's not that we don't enjoy people's success or, district news and all that kind of stuff. It's just not high priority for us. So we don't need to check it every single day. There might be people that do these like pyramid scheme type MLM stuff, and you can put them into a separate category, just kind of anybody that tends to send out a lot of unsolicited email that you don't necessarily need to read. You can make tags and filters for them so that it doesn't hit your main inbox and you can go read it later. Again, it doesn't mean that you're never going to read it. It just means it gets sorted into a different category because these filters are just to help you prioritize what's important and what's not important, ultimately saving you time. Okay, the next category are burner phones. No, I'm not in the mafia, but I do have burner phones, and I use these primarily for school trips. I never give students my work phone number or my personal cell phone number. I get a burner phone for things like Allstate or whatever. We're required to give out a cell number. I give them my burner number, and then I change that number every so often so that students don't end up having my personal number. That's a terrible idea. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just saying it's probably a terrible idea to give out your personal cell phone number to students. I don't see how that could benefit you in any way. Only can get you into trouble. Should you give your work number out to parents? I mean, it's up to you. I would encourage parents to make appointments. It might depend on the parent. If it's your booster club president, maybe that's an exception. Maybe just the booster club officers, maybe the chaperones. Maybe you give the chaperones your burner phone number. Okay, but the more parents you give your number to, the more they're going to use it. And do you really want to call at 2 a.m. From a parent asking you what color socks their kid's supposed to wear at the concert tomorrow? That's probably not going to be a phone call you're going to want to take. And at 2 a.m., you're probably wanting to sleep, and recharge those batteries so you could be more efficient and have a good concert the next day. So if you can restrict the people that have access to your cell phone numbers, it's probably best. Social media is a giant time draw. And again, it's not that it's unimportant or that you shouldn't be on social media. Just be aware, though, of how much time you're spending on social media and when you're on social media, okay? If you're taking a lot of breaks to check your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, whatever, your Discord server, I don't know what you're on, but in any case, if you're constantly checking that kind of stuff, you're going to be less efficient when you're trying to prioritize your tasks. It's going to take you a long time to get anything done, and it can be a big time draw. I'm not saying like in between class periods, don't scroll through your feed, just to see what somebody's doing. I'm not saying you can't do that. I mean, go ahead and feed that dopamine addiction for sure. But just you should be in charge of when you're on social media, not the other way around. All right? Don't be an addict. Wouldn't you rather use that time at the end of the day where you're winding down and you're relaxing, and that's kind of when you can relax and, check your social media and kind of reply to somebody's thing, whatever, and be friendly and social online. That's probably better than being a habitual, social media light and just you're never off the stuff. So just try it. Try it for a week without touching your social media during the workday and see how much more time you have at the end of the day to do the stuff you actually want to do. And when you get to do the stuff that you actually want to do, is it going to be social media? All right, that's it for this segment on electronic communication. The next segment, we're going to learn how to say no. That's right, how to say no. We'll catch you next time.